Okay, so yeah, I think last class you all were facing troubles with this chapter, so we decided we'll have one more practice session. Good afternoon. Okay, first what we'll do is the last five problems which I had assigned for homework last time. I think few of you are facing doubts and difficulties in that. So we'll quickly go through those questions first, then we'll continue with other questions. Okay? Yeah, by then the others will also join in. Yes, hello everyone, good afternoon. So what I'll do is I'll quickly go through the questions which I had assigned as homework last time. So in case you still have any doubts, you can get it clarified. Okay. So yeah, the first question was find a quadratic polynomial whose sum and product respectively of the zeros are as given. Also find the zeros of these polynomials by factorization. So the sum of the zeros was given as minus 8 by 3 and the product of the zeros is 4 by 3. So what do? You take alpha plus beta and so this will be alpha, just a second. Yeah. So this will be alpha plus beta and this will be alpha into beta. Use this and substitute it in the form of x square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta to get an equation, to get the polynomial, right? Once you get the polynomial, you use factorization method to find the zeros, right? Yeah, I think this is relatively easy. Yeah, here's the solution. So I'm just quickly going through these questions because I had given them as homework last time. So I just want to ensure that all of you understood it. Okay. Yeah. So alpha plus beta is given, alpha into beta is given. You substitute it in the equation and you get the required polynomials. And this is how you get the zeros of the polynomial, right? Okay, we'll go to the next question. Verify that 3 minus 1 and minus 1 by 3 are the zeros of the cubic polynomial. P of x is 3x cubed minus 5x squared minus 11x minus 3. And then verify the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients. Okay. So what do? Normally when you need to find a zero, you uh, get the zero of a polynomial when p of x is equal to p of 0 is 0, right? When you equate p of x to 0, substitute the value of 0 in the polynomial, you get the required zero of the polynomial. So in this case, to verify that these are the zeros, what do? You substitute each value in the polynomial one by one. So first take p of x as p of 3, substitute the value of x as 3 in the equation and check if you get 0. Right? If you are getting 0, that means these are the zeros of the cubic polynomial. Right. And how do you verify the relationship between zeros and the coefficients? Simple. Alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a and alpha into beta. Okay, so this in the case of this question, it's a cubic polynomial. So it will be alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to minus b by a. Then the sum of the products taken one at a time is equal to minus c by a and alpha beta gamma is equal to d by a, right? Minus d by a. Yeah, so you compare, yeah, so like I said, substitute 3 in then minus 1 and 1 by 3 in the equation. Okay. You don't need to solve it again. I'm just going through the questions uh, which I had given as homework. I think you would have solved it, right? Yeah, so I'm just going through the questions so that if anybody has any doubt still, we can clarify it. Okay. Pratim, how are you saying minus 1 by 3 is not a zero of the equation? Okay, you solved it. Okay, I think there must be some issue. Anyway, okay. Yeah, so when you solve it, just ensure each term, if it is equal to 0, that means it is a 0 of the equation, and then yeah, you use the formulas and check whether LHS is equal to RHS, check for the coefficients. That's how you verify the zeros. Yeah, next question. Yeah. Is the following statement true or false? Justify your answer. If the zeros of a quadratic polynomial ax square plus bx plus c are both negative, then a, b and c all have the same sign, right? So how do you do this? This is like, I'll just show it to you. Okay. So it says, so let alpha and beta be the zeros, right? So it says both the zeros are negative, right? If the zeros of the polynomial are both negative, then show that they have the same sign, right? Okay. So first relation is alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a. So in this case, alpha and beta are both negative, so we can just put a negative sign here. Correct? Which will equal to minus b by a. Or we can also say that uh, minus b by a, since both alpha and beta are negative, is going to be less than 0, right? And if you take the sign to the other side, it will be b by a is greater than 0, right? So from this you get that b by a, or both b and a, should have a positive sign. Then what about c? So you consider the relation alpha into beta is equal to c by a. So in this case both of them are negative, so it will be positive. So it will be nothing but minus alpha into minus beta is equal to c by a, right? So it will become positive basically, so c by a also is greater than 0. So from this we can see that all three terms are greater than 0, right? A, B, C are greater than 0. So what does the question say? Yeah, they all have the same sign. Hence they all have the same sign, right? Somebody is not able to join. We are just going through the questions which I had assigned as homework last class. In case you still have any doubts, please ask me now. I'll just get it. I'll clarify them. Okay. Rudra, can you ask Sanat to check his connection? This time it's auto approval. I don't need to do anything. So just ask him to check his connection once. Okay. Anybody still having a doubt in this question? You can raise your hand. In case you have any doubt. It's clear, right? Why all of them have the same sign. You just use those two equations. Okay. I don't see anybody's hands raised, so we'll just move on to the next one. Can you explain the Siwala again? Okay, yeah. Yeah, so basically, right, yeah, here, this is the solution on the board. Here it is. So alpha and beta are the zeros of the equation, and both are negative in this case. That's what I've done here. So when both are negative, you can say that minus b by a will be less than 0, right? And when you take the negative sign to the other side, it will be b by a is greater than 0, which means both b and a are positive, right? Can we prove by taking alpha and beta as numbers also, right? Uh, yeah, I think you can do that. Yeah, as long as this, I mean, this is the standard way to go about, because they are just saying zeros. We don't know what the zeros are. So hence everywhere or generally they will, yeah, it will come, it will be still true, it will hold true. But since they have not specified what are the zeros, so by general convention it would be a better idea to just take alpha beta, because alpha and beta are denoted, like the zeros are denoted by alpha and beta. Yeah, even if you take any number it should still hold true, right? It's easier with numbers because then you can show that yeah, they are positive, they'll have the same sign. Okay, yeah, so the first one is take the sum of the zeros, which is minus b by a. From that you get b and a both are greater than 0. For c, take alpha into beta, the product of the zeros, as c by a. So since both are negative, the product will be positive, hence c by a will be greater than 0. From these two equations, this one and this one, we can show that a, b and c all are greater than 0. Okay, just yeah. So this is explained in a shorter way. You can just, I use that so that you all would understand. So this is the simple way of saying it, direct way of saying it. Okay. So this question, yeah, I saw that some of you had posted this on the group. Can the quadratic polynomial x square plus kx plus k have equal zeros for some odd integers k greater than 1? Right. Somebody just joined in. Ritisha, I had given 5 questions as homework last class, so I'm just going through them. Once again, I'm going through the solution so that in case you have any doubts, we can get it clarified. Okay, yeah, I finished 3 sums. I'm on the 4th one now. Can the quadratic polynomial, okay. So basically, I think I had put this on the group also. What is the condition, like what basic condition is there when they say uh, the roots of an quadratic polynomial are equal, right? So the basic condition will be the discriminant is 0, um, discriminant being b square minus 4ac is 0, right? When this is the case, only then the zeros of the quadratic polynomial are equal. Is this visible? Just a second, I'll write it again. Okay, so for equal zeros, b square minus 4ac should be 0. This is the discriminant, right? Okay, so now if you put the values of the polynomial in here, what is it? What are the values? Yeah, b square will be k square minus 4k, right? A is 1, the coefficient of c is k, so equal to 0. Or we can say k square is equal to 4k. Sorry, we can do it as, yeah, k square minus 4k is equal to 0, or k minus 4 is equal to 0. So from this we can see that k is equal to 4 or k is equal to 0. Correct. So when k is 4 or when k is 0, only then this condition of b square minus 4ac, this condition is satisfied only when k is 0 or k is 4. Right. So when k is 1, obviously this equation won't be satisfied. And what is the question for some odd integers greater than 1? Okay. So since only for 2 values this equation is satisfied, so we can clearly say that for any integer k greater than 1, the zeros won't be equal, right? Okay, I did not get what the question is trying to ask. Okay, Rudra, the question is asking, can the quadratic polynomial have equal zeros? They have put just random variable in place of coefficients. So they are saying for any odd, if k is any odd integer, like if it's x square plus 3x plus 3, can that equation have equal zeros? Will the equation then have equal zeros? From where did this, how did you get b square minus 4ac? Okay, you have studied equal roots. Okay, I think you would have studied quadratic equations before, right? In the previous grades. Like generally to solve quadratic equations, just to find the roots directly, to find the roots of any quadratic equation, we use this formula which is known as b square minus 4ac is equal to 0. This equal to 0 comes when it's given that the equation already has equal zeros. This is known as the discriminant. What does k greater than 1 stand for? So basically this question, okay. This question is saying that suppose let's consider this example that the quadratic polynomial is x square plus 3x plus k. So it's just asking if the polynomial is x square plus 3x plus k, will it have equal zeros? Or if it's x square plus 5x plus 5, will it have equal zeros? Any odd integers greater than 1. Basically that. So you substitute any odd integer in the equation, any odd integer in this equation, will it have equal zeros or not? So they just generalized it and they are asking you. Okay. How will it have equal zeros? So yeah, whenever you are told that a quadratic equation, so this holds good only for quadratic, okay? So whenever a quadratic equation has equal zeros, it means the discriminant b square minus 4ac is 0. So b square, okay, yeah. So basically it is, you compare the equation to this ax square plus bx plus c. Okay, you compare your polynomial to this general version. From there, this coefficient you get as b, this is c, and this is a. This is what you put in this equation, this term. That's it. I think you would have done this before. I think you would have covered this before, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, yeah, because the first day, like the general way of solving quadratic equations is using this. If b square minus root of 4ac by 2a. Do you remember that formula? We haven't seen this formula before. Okay. Okay, maybe you'll be taught this later on. Okay, okay, fine. Just okay, then for now, just remember if they say maybe you'll connect the dots later on then, right? So if it is given in any place that a quadratic equation has equal zeros, you use this term b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, which is the discriminant. B square minus 4ac is the discriminant. Okay? Yeah, I think when you get to quadratic equations, this will be much clearer. Okay. So I think this question basically is a mix of quadratic equation and polynomials. Yeah. So they won't ask you specific chapter-wise questions. They might ask you something mixed like this later on. Yeah. So this is what they've done. Like I said, or you can use this method if you are not comfortable with the discriminant thing. They have just equal zeros. So you write a plus a is equal to minus b by a, which is k. I think this method will be easy, right? You're not mixing the two concepts, but later on you can use that when once you finish quadratic equations chapter, you can use that as well to solve. So in this case, they've just taken something, say a and a. So from that you get minus k by 1, or you get a as k by 2, and a into a as k. From that you get an equation. When you solve that, k is 0 and 4. thus equal roots are possible only when k is even, right? Maybe this method might be more easier for you for now. Okay. This last question of the homework which I had assigned this. Yeah, this I think I had explained on the group also, but still I'll explain it once more. What would be the quotient and the remainder on division of ax square plus bx plus c by px cube plus qx plus rx plus s, where p is not equal to 0. Okay, so what is the basic thing here? You identify which is p of x and which is q of x. Uh, sorry, g of x, not q of x. Yeah, so p of x is basically px cube plus qx square plus rx, sorry, rx plus s, and g of x is ax square. Oh, sorry, wait, I made a mistake. P of x, what will be the remainder on division of, right? So p of x is ax square plus bx plus c, and g of x is px cube plus qx square plus rx plus s. Okay. Yes, it is ulta. I made a mistake. Correct. Okay, so yes, some of you are answering here. Yes, you are right. So just first simple thing is you do this. Okay, identify which is the dividend and which is the divisor. So this is the dividend, right? And this is the divisor. Now look at the powers in both the dividend and the divisor, which has the higher power of x. As you can see, it is the divisor. So since the divisor cannot be like a bigger number, it's a greater number than the dividend, right? It has a higher power, so it cannot divide p of x. Hence the quotient will be 0. So they have asked you give us the quotient and the remainder both. So q of x in this case will be 0, and remainder r of x will be the same as p of x. Yes, okay. So got it right? Anybody still having a doubt in this question? You can raise your hand. Nope. Okay. Okay, then we'll start solving questions for today. Yeah, this is the same thing. This I think one of you had put on WhatsApp the solution. So here this basically is just indicating that 0 is the quotient q of x. It's not 0 minus q of x. Okay, you don't need to show this division, like they're just shown it so that you understand what exactly happens. You don't need to show it. So it will be, the remainder will be the same as the dividend and the quotient will be 0. That's it. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. Now you can start solving. First, take the first subpart. Find the zeros of the following quadratic polynomials and verify the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients. Okay, so first subpart is 4s square minus 4s plus 1. So use factorization. Using factorization, you will get the zeros, right? First thing is to equate it to 0. Second step, factorization. Split the middle term, right? You'll get the zeros. And how do you verify the relationship between zeros and the coefficients? Since it's a quadratic equation, the first one will be alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a, and the second will be alpha into beta is equal to c by a, no minus. Okay, if you solve, all those of you who have finished solving can tell me what are the zeros. Like you can type in your answer, I'll check. Yes, so what are the zeros? Pratim, yes, you're right. One more step ahead. S is equal to something will be the zero. Uh, okay, you get a number, people. It will be you solve it. Yes, Ayush, Ritisha, Hiya, you're right. But you will get two. Is equal to both will be the same zero. Ritisha, just check your sign once. Heth, yes, you're right. Pratim, yes. Manasvi, are you sure, Manasvi? Vanshika, check your sign once. Aradhya, yes. Shreya, yes. Pratim, yes. Vanshika, yes, you're right now. Soumya, yes. So yeah, basically what you do is, I'll just show it to you. This one is easy. Oops. Yeah. Factorize the equation, you will get 2s minus 1 into 2s minus 1. Should I solve this? Anybody wants me to solve this? It's just splitting of the middle term. So basically 4s square minus 4s plus 1. The product of the first and last term, that's 4, will be 4. So you express 4s in terms of a number which adds up to 4, right? So it will be 4s square minus 2s plus 1. That's how you get this. That's how you get half and half. Yes, it's half for both. And then what do you do to prove? You need to verify the relationship between the zeros and the coefficient. So the sum of zeros is equal to minus b by a. That's what. And then product of the zeros is equal to c by a. Do that also. Whenever they say verify, it will be that. Just keep that in mind. Okay. Awesome, Shankari. You did it good. Okay. The rest of you also, I hope you'll have written the steps for verification. Good job. Okay. So we'll do the done. Yeah, got it. Good. Just ensure, yeah. So the sum of zeros should be equal to the LHS should be equal to RHS. That's all you have to do. Anybody wants me to write it and explain, can raise your hand. Got it. Awesome. No need. Okay. Second one, what Ishan exactly? The second verification or the second question or question? Okay. Yep, I'm going back to the second question. Yeah. Second one is t square minus 15. Awesome here. That's right. Okay, y'all can just tell me the roots. I know y'all will solve it properly. Anshika, that's right. Murtuza, are you sure? 15? It's t square. Yes, Navya. Yes, Ayush, you can. It will be plus and minus that. So there will be two roots. You are confused at the second one. Okay, so it's t square minus 15. You first, what do you do? Find the zero. So you equate it to 0, right? So it will be t square minus 15 is equal to 0. So t square is equal to 15 or t is equal to root of plus minus 15. No, Sanat, it will be root of plus minus 15. There will be two zeros. Ritu, did you get it now? Plus minus root 15. Yes, Shardul. You didn't get y plus minus. Okay, I'll just write this one here. Okay, so it's t square minus 15. The first thing you do, you equate it to 0, which will become t square is equal to 15, right? Or t is equal to, so it can either be plus 15 or minus 15, right? We don't know. It's square, that's why. Yep. You got it, Rudra? It could be, how do we do the verification? Okay, I'll show you the verification here. Okay, so now we know the roots are plus minus 15. So first one is sum of the roots, right? So plus 15 and minus root 15 is equal to what? This is the LHS. So LHS we'll do the RHS later. Okay, so LHS is 0. RHS is nothing but minus B by A. What is the B term here? Is there any term which says T? It's directly T square minus 0T. Or yeah, it's 0T basically. So B is 0 and A is 1. So 0 by 1, which is nothing but 0. Right? So this is verified. The first one is verified. Second one will be 15 plus, okay, yeah, you can say plus root 15 into minus root 15, which is nothing but 15, right? This is the LHS, and the RHS will be C by A. So what is this coefficient of C here? 15. But this will be minus 15. This is also minus 15. A is 1 is equal to minus 15. Right? Proved. This is how you do. Why are we taking two different signs? Because yeah, here yes, you can use the identity of A plus B. Okay, so yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think I can explain it to them using this. So so what does it say? T square minus 15 is equal to 0. I think all those of you asking how did I get plus minus, I think this will help you. So it can also be written as a square minus b square, right? This is nothing but a square minus b square, or t square minus root 15 square. Sorry for the cramped handwriting. Yeah. So now you get t plus root 15 and t minus root 15, right? If you use the a square minus b square formula expansion, that's how you get plus minus. I think this is more clear way of explaining. How will you take both the signs to be the same, Manasvi? Root plus root 15 and minus root 15 will be two different things, right? So basically, whenever you get square root of something, in case of roots, I think this also you would have done in your lower classes. Maybe you're not able to recollect or something. So whenever you get anything, so even if it's t square is equal to 4, the answer will be t is equal to plus minus 2. Okay. You always consider both the signs because you don't know which sign it's going to be. So you do that in case of square roots also. In all cases, whenever you equate something like this, so it will be plus minus. Okay. Yeah, I think when you cover quadratic equations, all this will be more clear. Okay, so this question is done. We'll move on to the next one. Yeah, this is how you do it. You're facing connection issues. No, don't worry. I'll be sending the recording and the PPT. So I think you can refer to it later. Okay. So this is how you do it. I explained this question, so we just move on. Okay. Check whether the first polynomial is a factor of the second polynomial by dividing the second polynomial by the first polynomial. Just confusing words. Easy. What they are just asking is this first term a factor of the second term? How do you find? You divide this first term by this. That's all. So P of x is this, the second one. Second one, G of x is this first term. That's all. So check whether it is a factor. How do you check it's a factor? The remainder should be 0. Yes, so it's just long division. You're right. Do it. Anybody has any problem or doubt in how to divide? Do you want me to show it? You can just raise your hand or let me know. P of x is the second term. Don't get confused by the words. Yeah, P of x is 2t4 plus 3t cube minus 2t square minus 9t minus 12. And g of x is t square minus 3. Be careful while dividing. It's a little tricky. Is it a factor? Yes. Manasvi, yes, you're right. Yes, Anshika, you're right. Yes, Shreya. Be careful while dividing. It's a bit tricky when you divide. So, awesome. Here you give me answer for both the questions. Yes, Ayush, Soumya, you're right. Vanshika, why are you multiplying 0t with 2? Okay, I think the first one isn't. No, okay, okay. No, Aradhya, that's the wrong answer. You're getting a remainder. Is this the first one? Okay, I had a feeling you might get stuck here. I will show it to you. This is the first one is a bit tricky. I'll just show it to you how do you do the division. Okay. Uh, what is the term? 2t4 plus 3t square minus 3t cube, sorry, minus 2t square minus 9t minus 12, and you have to divide it by t square minus 3. Okay, so first one it's easy, 2t square, right? So you'll get 2t4 here, and what will the second term be? It will be directly 6t square. So there will be nothing here. You go here, minus 6t square. So sign change, here subtract. This will get cancelled. Should I use? Yeah, this will get cancelled. And this will be, so it will be now 3t cube plus 4t square minus 9t. Just bring this down. Okay, so now you need 3t cube. So what will give you 3t cube plus 3t, right? Multiply by t, and you want a 3. So 3t cube And the next term will be minus 90. Again, nothing here, directly here. Minus 90. Sign change, this will be minus, this will be plus. So both of these get cancelled. This and this. Okay. Sorry for that. Okay, then what do you get as the remainder? You will get 4t square minus 12. So now just multiply by 4 plus 4, correct? So what do you get here? I'll just do this part here. Okay, 4t square minus 12. So this will be 4t square minus 12. Sign change. You get the remainder as 0. So the first one is a factor. Okay. Yeah. Got it? Got it? Yes. Awesome. So now try to do the second one. Second one is easier compared to the first one. Yes. Got it. Anybody still having a doubt with the division? Raise your hand. I'll explain it to you. Chardul, the yes is you want me to explain it again or you understood it? You got it. Awesome. Okay, tell me whether the second one is a factor. Tricky one scares everyone more, not an issue. Once you start practicing, you get a hang of it, so then you'll be comfortable. Okay, yeah. So, if it's not a factor, tell me the remainder too. You're still getting a remainder for the first one. Ishan, just check. Check your calculations. Yes, awesome, Ayush. Soumya, you're right. I think second one is comparatively easier, right? Pratim, are you sure that's the remainder? Try again. Okay, Ishan. Okay. Take 12 and solve. Ritisha, Manasri, you're right. Rudra, glad to know they're easy for you. Remainder is 2. Yes. Okay. So I think the second one is easy. I'll just show you the solution of this. Okay. Yeah. Here. First one, Navya, yes. Shardul, yes. Hate, I'm sorry. I think I've lost your answer somewhere. Just check your answer with the answer I've displayed on the screen. Okay, so first one I think I divided and I performed the division and showed it to you. This is the second one. How do you do it? You get the remainder as 2. It's non-zero. So remainder is non-zero. So it is a factor. How do you say it is a factor, Simra? Are you talking about the first one or the second one? Can you do the second one? Pratim, I think it's easy. Okay, I'll just take you through this solution. Okay, so it says divide, so p of x is this and g of x is this. Yes, Sanat, you're right. Okay, so to get x to the power 5 and you have x cubed, so you multiply by x square. So you get x to the power 5, the next term will be 3x into x square will be 3x cube minus 3x cube and plus x square. When you perform the sign change and subtraction, you will get the remainder as x cube plus 3x plus 1, right? And minus 1 when you... Yes, Simra, you're right, but the remainder is 2. Yes, Rudra, you're right. Yeah, they would have skipped some part. It is not a factor, yes. Yeah, they've done it in really short steps here just to show you that how they get a remainder. But I think you would have understood by now how to perform division, right? Anybody still wants me to show it how to do? Nope. Yes, it's true. Yes, Simra. How do you get minus x cube in the second step? Okay, they have skipped something here, guys. And here you get 4 minus 4x cube plus 3x cube is giving you minus x cube. That's how you get minus x cube here. Okay. Do it on your books. Do it on the paper. I think you'll get it. How do you do? Okay. Okay, we'll go on to the next question. Try it after this session. If you still don't get it, you can ask me. I'll help you solve it. Okay. Yeah. Again, tricky question. One more tricky question. Can x minus 1 be the remainder on division of a polynomial p of x by 2x plus 3? Justify your answer. Anybody ready to justify? With justification, the answer. Okay. Avni, that's right. What would be the justification? So they have given you the remainder and they've given you p of x. They are telling you g of x is 2x plus 3. Right? So can this be a remainder? No, no. Okay. Why? Rudra says yes. He says no and yes, both. Awesome. Soumya has given me the answer and justification. Yes, it can be. Yes, it can be because it's the same degree. Avni, yes. Murtuza, yes, you're right. Manasvi, you're right. Yeah, degree is the same. Okay, Rudra, I think your answer is split into parts. I've lost the first part, so I'm not really sure what you were saying. Could you tell me how it is done? Yes, of course, I will. I was just asking if anybody knew how to do this. Okay, so here's the thing. X minus 1 is the remainder, right? P of x on some polynomial p of x and g of x is 2x plus 3. So one thing to be noted here, always, the degree of the remainder will be lesser than the degree of the divisor. So what is the degree of divisor here? 1, right? The degree of the remainder is also 1, which is not possible. In case, yes, Rishit, you're right. Ravya, you're right. Hey, I'm not sure where you're getting at. Okay, so in case, so the basic property used here is that the degree of the remainder should be lesser than the degree of the divisor. In case the degree of the remainder is equal to or greater than the divisor, which means the further division is possible. That means you've not divided it completely. Okay, which means this cannot be a remainder. It must be something in between. It may be possible this is a term in between, but then further division can be done to get a remainder. That's all. So it should not be equal. That's the only property used here. Okay, here it's given on the screen. As degree r of x is never equal to the degree of g of x. Okay. In case it is greater than g of x or equal to g of x, which means we can perform further division. Right? If you just go back one question, you will come to know that, right? Like if you go back to these questions, right? There is a point where 3t cube minus 4t square minus 90 minus 12 is there. It's greater than the divisor, right? It's greater than t square minus 3 power. But it's not a remainder. It's a step in between the division. That means you can divide it further, get a remainder. Okay, yeah. Okay, I think simple. That's it. Just keep the property in mind. Okay, next one. If one of the zeros of the okay, I can't see the question. If one of the zeros of the quadratic polynomial k minus 1 x square plus kx plus 1 is minus 3, then what is the value of k? Simple. We did this 2-3 questions back. How do you do? Okay, so when you need to find a zero of a polynomial, you substitute the value of x with 0, right? So in this case, do the opposite. You substitute -3 in the polynomial and check if you get 0. Equate it to 0. Since they have already said here -3 is one of the zeros, so equate this polynomial to 0 and substitute the value of x as -3. You should get k. Yes, substitution. Ishan. Pratim, check your answer once. Mihika, yes, you're right. Manasvi, answer check. Arjun, the class is till 4:30. Navya, yes, you're right. Simple substitution. Just put the value of x. What is the answer that you have to tell me, Pratim? Uh, Equate this equation to 0. Substitute the value of x as -3. You will get k. Kritak, it's wrong. No, Pratim. Avni, check your answer once. How are you getting such vague answers? Okay, fine. I'll just. Ritisha 14, are you sure? Here, yes. Ritu, yes. You're right. Okay, for all those of you who are not getting it, I just told you. Okay, what does it say? The question k minus 1 x square plus kx plus 1, right? First step, equate it to 0 since the 0 is given. Second step, substitute the value of x as -3. -3 square plus -3x plus 1 equal to 0. Correct? So now this will be 9. -3 into -3 is plus 9. K minus 1 minus 3x plus 1 is equal to 0. Right? Or 9, sorry, 3k this will be, not x. 9k minus 9 minus 3k plus 1 is equal to 0. Or 9 minus 3k is 6k minus 8 minus 9 plus 1 is 8 is equal to 0, or k is equal to 8 by 6, which can be also written as 4 by 3, right? Yeah, that's how you get 4 by 3. Pratim, are you clear now? I don't know how you got 11 by 3. 8 by 6, yes, Shardul. Aradhya, you just need to find k. That's it. You got it, Smera? Yes. Okay. Simple calculation error, yes. Okay, this one was easy, right? Given that one of the zeros of the quadratic polynomial is yes, so you just substitute the value, you'll get 3 into 3 is 3. Wow, Pratim, genius. Okay, so this question is easy, right? Okay, we'll go to the next one. Yes, you substitute x with -3. Mark yes. Find all the zeros of 2x to the power 4 minus 3x cube minus 3x square plus 6x minus 2. If you know that two of its zeros are root 2 and minus root 2. How do you do this? Okay, this is a little tricky. Let me see if anybody gets it. First step will be They've given you two zeros. Now don't take them separately. We did one of these questions last class. I think you will, if you recollect. Okay, you are stuck. I'll tell you what you do. So they have given you two of its zeros as root 2 and minus root 2. If you see this, no idea. Why no idea? We definitely solved a question of this type previous class. Yes, yes, I know where you are stuck. I'll just show it to you. Yes, Murtuza, you can solve this. I'm not telling the answer. I'm just helping them with the first step because everybody, most of you are going prone to be stuck on the first step. Okay. So what does it say? The roots are root 2 and minus root 2. How do you write this? Since it's zeros are, right? So you can write it as x minus root 2 is equal to 0 and x plus root 2 is equal to 0. Correct? Okay, Ayush is giving me the answer. Ayush. Yes, you are right, Ayush. That's correct. You solved it pretty fast. Good. Okay, so you can write it as these two, or you go one step back, or you can write it as x minus 2, x square minus 2 equal to 0. Correct? Anybody stuck? How did I get this? No, right? We just did this. How did I get? This will be a plus b, and this will be a minus b, which can also be written as a square minus b square. Correct? Okay, so now this is your g of x. Yep, and you have p of x. So now divide p of x by g of x. You will get a quotient. Simplify the quotient using factorization, and you get the roots. Ayush has given me the answer already. Anybody else? Okay. Got it? Got the first step. Yes, Navya, you're right. Mohag, it will be x square minus 2. A square minus b square, right? Long division, yes. I just helped you with g of x. Okay, Ishan, it says here two of its zeros are root 2 and minus root 2. If you remember, we did one question, t is equal to t square minus 15 wala, right? So we wrote the roots as, sorry, this is 15, right? So what did we write the roots as? T is equal to plus minus 15, right? So what I've done here, I just went ulta. Here it is given the roots are plus 2 and minus 2. So I wrote it in terms of x square minus 2. That's all I did. So if you do that, you get g of x. So now you divide that the polynomial with g of x. You'll get a quotient. Yes, Aradhya, Soumya, you're right. Are you able to divide it? Yes, Shreya, you're right. When you divide the polynomial p of x by g of x, you get a quotient. You will get 0 as the remainder. You still didn't get it, Manasvi. Okay. Yes, Ritisha. Awesome. Now simplify the quotient. Split the middle term. You will get something. Yes, all those of you who got the quotient, split the middle term and factorize it. Smera, you're right. That's the answer. Somebody is stuck. Yeah, Manasvi. I'll tell you how do you do. You got it till here, right? How I got g of x. Anybody still stuck as to how I got g of x? Okay, no response. So I think you are clear. So once you get g of x, what do? You divide it. Yes, there are 4 zeros in total because the power is x to the power 4, right? What's the question? Yes, x to the power 4. So you will get 4. Okay, Manasvi, we did this question. Anybody who is still stuck, I'll repeat. We just did a question where it said t square minus 15 is equal to 0. So we got the roots of t as plus minus 15. Correct? What I have done in this case, you are given the roots as minus root 2 and plus root 2. So I just worked backwards and wrote it in the form of this. I have written it in the form of this. So you can write it as x is, sorry, this is x. X is plus minus root 2, right? Or x square minus 2 is equal to 0. Correct? I've just worked backwards. Yes, Kritak, you're right. Okay. Yes? Okay, you've got all this. Now I'll show you the division. Some people are still stuck, so I'll just go through the division once. What is the question? 2x4 minus 3x cube minus 3x square plus 6x minus 2. Okay, and we got g of x as x square minus 2. Right? Hiya, yes. Ritisha, yes. Murtuza, yes, you are right. So here, you to get 2x4, you multiply by 2x square, right? So you will get 2x to the power 4. Next, 2x square minus 2. So there will be nothing here. You will get here minus 4x cube. No, x square, sorry. Yep. So this will be minus. This will be plus. You get 3x cube minus 3x cube. This will be plus x square. Okay. Now you need minus 3x cube, which is minus 3x. Correct? So you get here minus 3x cube plus 2 3 is 6. This there will be nothing here. We'll bring down 6x. Why do we have to square it? Square it because here if you perform division using x minus root 2, it will be tedious, right? It's already given that it's plus root 2 minus root 2, which means you can go back to the form of a square minus b square. It's basically, if you write it like this, it will be x minus root 2, which is x a minus b, and x plus root 2, which is a plus b. So that's why so this using this I got a square minus b square to make it simple. Correct? That's all I did. Okay, so this is 3x cube minus 3 to the 6x, right? Plus 6x. So this will be plus, this will be minus, this is gone, this is gone. X square minus 2. So this is right here, the divisor is the same. So you just do minus 1. Correct? Or you do plus 1. Plus 1. Plus 1. You get the same term here, which is 0. Now, uh, factorize this equation by splitting the middle term. Okay. Any problem with factorization? It will be 2 into 1, which how do you split the middle term? The product of the first and last term is 2. So write 3 in terms of 2, which is what? 3 minus 1. That's it. Okay. So here in this case, the question says, yeah. So find all the zeros. So you get the other two zeros also. Just Pratham, Pratham, those are not the zeros. Just check once. Yes, Vanshika, if you simplify it, you will get x is equal to, equate those two brackets to 0. You get x equal to, okay, I'll just show you the step. For all any of you who stuck still, I'll just show it to you. It will be 2x square minus 3x plus 1, right? So now product is 2, you can write 3 in terms of 2 as plus 1, right? 2x square minus, okay, you can write it like this: 2x square minus 3x plus 1, which can be written as 2x square minus 2x minus x plus 1, right? So 2x x minus 1 minus 1 x minus 1, x minus 1 can be taken as common, 2x minus 1 is equal to 0, or x is equal to 1, or x is equal to half. Correct? Okay, clear? Now you should be able to solve the other division questions on your own. Done enough divisions for now. Somebody having a doubt, somebody's hand is raised. Mihika, do you have a doubt, Mihika?
No, I didn't do that.
Okay,
It was an accident,
it's okay.
probably.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. Find all the zeros of, okay, yeah, we did this. Yep, so this is the solution. I explained the whole thing. So anybody still having doubt, when I share the PPT, you can go through the solution. Okay. If the zeros of the cubic polynomial x cube minus 6x square plus 3x plus 10 are of the form a plus b, and a plus 2b for some real numbers a and b, then find the values of a and b. We've done a similar question in the last class, the previous class. Let me see if you are anybody up for trying it. Okay, I'll give you a small hint. You have to use the property of sum of zeros and product of zeros and something else which is there for cubic polynomials. Use those properties. This is a bit lengthy question. So, the first property is sum of the zeros, which will be a plus b plus a plus 2b is equal to minus b by a. When you do that, you get a equation, right? And use the second property, that sum of the products taken one at a time, since it's a cubic polynomial. So that's nothing but a into a plus b plus a plus b into a plus 2b plus a plus 2b into a. Okay, I'll just write it, maybe it'll be easier for the ones who are stuck. Okay, so there will be two equations. One will be a plus b plus a plus 2b is equal to minus b by a. Substitute the value here. What is minus b by a? This is nothing but 6 by 1. It's already a minus sign, minus 6, so it will become 6. Correct? When you simplify this, you will get one equation. And the second property you use is this: a into a plus b plus a plus b a plus 2b plus a plus 2b into A is equal to C by A. Correct? Substituted value of C by A. What is the value of C by A is 3. 3 by 1. Solve this, you get second equation. Anybody got the values of A and B? Okay, Pratim, you have to solve ahead to get the value of A and B. Okay, somebody is up. Navya. Yes, there is also one more condition, Navya. So there you will get two values. When A is something, B is a value, and when A is something else, B is a value. So you get total 4 values. You did not understand the second equation. Okay, so in for cubic polynomials, there's a property. For quadratic, there are two, right? For quadratic, it's sum of the zeros and product of the zeros. For cubic, there's another property which says the sum of the product of the zeros taken one at a time. So basically A into A plus B plus A plus B. This is the first term, right? So what I have done is I multiplied the first term with the second term with the third term, and the third term with the first term. Cyclic multiplication. How do you know which of the three equations to use? Okay, so in case of cubic, you have three, right? If you see here, if you go to multiply these three, right? If you go to multiply the, yes, Rudra, you're right, that's the third one. Alpha into beta into gamma is equal to minus d by a. Yes, Pratim, that's right. Yeah. You solve them, simplify them, Vanshika. How do you simplify linear equations? Like if you simplify the first one, you will get the value of b in terms of a. Then you can substitute that in the second one. That's how you'll get a and b. Yes, abg is c by a minus c by a. No, minus d by a. Sorry, it's minus d by a. Pratim, abg. Okay, yeah. So you do this multiplication. So there are three properties: sum, product. The sum and the product holds good for quadratic also, and then for cubic polynomials you have another property which is this, the third one. How do you know which of the properties to use? Is first, anyway you will take sum of the zeros is a must. Okay, that goes by default for any question. Start with that. Then if it is a cubic polynomial, use this property, because the third one will just give you a into a plus b plus a plus 2b will give you a cube. Correct. So a cube, how do you sit and solve an equation in terms of a cube now? Right, it's tedious. In this, if you take up the second equation, when you solve it, you'll get the maximum power as a square. So you can consider it as a quadratic equation and go ahead, right? So the first one, if you solve, you'll get something like 3a plus 3b is equal to 6, or a plus b is equal to 2. So you write b is equal to a minus 2, or 2 minus a, sorry, 2 minus a. These questions are from the workbook, Pratim. You did not get how to solve this, Rudra. Okay, so Rudra, I have written uh, two equations on the board or on the screen, right? So there are these three. I went over this last class also. What's D? Where's D? I don't see a D anywhere. You're confused. Okay, somebody wants to see the question again. Somebody's okay. I'll just read the question and I'll solve this one. Okay. If the zeros of the cubic polynomial x cube minus 6x square plus 3x plus 10 are of the form a plus b, and a plus 2b for some real numbers a and b, then find the values of a and b. We did this question last class. Y'all pretty like you understood it also. I think you've forgotten now. Is it? Navya, you just need to find the value of a and b, not the zeros. So check once your answer. Okay, so all those of you who have not understood, I am going to explain it again. Okay, in case of cubic polynomials, there are three properties. First property is the sum of zeros, which is nothing but alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to minus b by a. Okay. Second property which is applicable, so these two properties are applicable for quadratic also, which is alpha, beta, gamma. In case of quadratic, it will just be alpha plus beta. Alpha, beta, gamma is minus d by a. Correct? Now there is a third special property for cubic which says when you take the sum of the product taken one at a time. So that's nothing but alpha plus beta plus gamma alpha is equal to c by a. Okay, make a note of these properties. Most of the time when you solve questions to verify or something like this where the root zeros are given and you need to find, you need to make of these three equations only to solve. There is nothing else. How do you know which two to select? Okay, so in this case the first one goes by default. So the first property, sum of zeros, can be used as it is in most of the questions. Okay, among the other two, which to choose? Alpha, beta, gamma will give you a cube. So you don't want an equation in form of a cube which will become difficult to solve. Whereas if you get something in the form of a square, you can still solve it. Okay, so here, so I'm going with the first one. What is it? A plus b plus a plus 2b is equal to minus b by a. So I'm just directly putting the value here, which is nothing but minus of minus 6 by 1. Correct? So 3a plus 3b is equal to 6, or what do you get? A plus b is equal to 2, or you can write b as 2 minus a. Correct? 2 minus a. Now I'm taking the third one. What will that be? A into a plus b plus a plus b into a plus 2b plus a plus 2b into a. Correct? Is equal to c by a. So c is what? C is 3. 3 by 1. Or nothing but 3. So now solve this second equation. Murtuza is not in terms of root. One of the zeros is 2. No, I... Okay, so the question says find the value of a and b. We don't want the zeros. We just want a and b. What is the value of a and b? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll solve this. So you got the first equation, right? Keep that in mind. I'm just erasing all this because I need space to solve that. So the second one, which says a into a plus b plus a plus 2b. I'm just splitting the term a plus 2b plus a into a plus 2b, which is equal to 3. Correct? Or a square plus ab plus, what is this? A square plus 2ab plus ab plus 2b square plus a square plus 2ab. Correct? Is equal to 3. Now this becomes a square 3 times, so 3 a square plus 2ab and ab, 3ab plus ab, 4ab, 6ab. Correct? 2ab, ab, 3ab plus 2ab, which is 6ab plus 2b square is equal to 3. So now the first equation we got as b is equal to 2 minus a, correct? This is ab. Okay, yeah. So b 2 minus a, substitute that here. So it becomes 3a square plus 6a 2 minus a plus 2 minus a square. Sorry, this square will be outside. 2 minus a square is equal to 3. Correct? When you simplify this, you will get an equation like a square minus 4a minus 5 is equal to 0. Now solve for a. So you will get two values of a. Correct? Okay, now people tell me the value of a and b. How are you getting some other equation, Pratim? I've solved it right here. So just see. Yes, Soumya, you're right. Pratim, just check your calculation with what I've done on the board. How did you get 3 minus a, Ishan? Check if you add the three zeros. Okay, yeah, Pratim, you can do that. If you add the three zeros, you will get 3a plus 3b is equal to 6. What is the sign once? Check your sign. Manasvi, check your answer once. Rishit, you are right. So if a is that, what will be? When a is equal to that, what will b be? Just substitute in the first equation, you will get the values of b. Yes, Ayush, you're right. So substitute the value of a in the Pratim, you have skipped some term somewhere completely. Just go through your calculations once. You've done some mistake in simplification. Yes, Murtuza, you're right. Rishit, you're right. Avni, you're right. There's a simple, what do you say, simplification. You really want me to show how do you get 3 after 3a square? How did I get this? Okay, all those of you who are stuck, please try this once. Try this once in your notebook. And if you're still stuck, let me know. Send a message or something like that. Okay? Pratim, just try your calculation once you've done some mistake in simplifying this equation here. Okay, what do you say? I suggest you do this in your notebook once after this class. Okay, I want to solve two more types of questions, so we'll just move ahead. Okay, all of you who are stuck, please solve this question and ensure you are getting the correct answer. Pratim, just write this equation again and solve it once. Just write it again and solve it once. Okay, I'll be sharing PPT also. So just don't. Okay, so here what they have done is in this solution. Yeah, here. So they have used the second property, which I also showed how do you do it. But instead of multiplying the brackets and opening them, they have used a different kind of different kind of simplification and substitution to arrive at the same answer. So if you are able to understand this method easily, fine. Otherwise, you can do what I did and just simply multiply the brackets, and you'll arrive at a quadratic equation which can be solved by splitting the terms. Yes, Ritisha, you're right. Okay. We'll go ahead, guys. You try solving this as a homework or just after this class. Don't forget, because then you'll just be lying. You'll forget how to solve it also. Just do it after class as soon as class gets over. And still, if you have any doubts, let me know. Okay, I want you to do this question. This is a little tricky and a good question. So find k so that x square plus 2x plus k is a factor of 2x to the power 4 plus x cube minus 14x square plus 5x plus 6. Also find all the zeros of the two polynomials. The second part is a catch. Find all the zeros of the two polynomials. So now they want you to find the zeros of g of x and p of x. Okay, first step, what do? You divide, this is p of x and this is g of x. So as it is, you can divide it. You will get something in the form of a quotient and remainder. Oh, so it says it's a factor, right? So in this case, you get the remainder as 0. First step, divide p of x by g of x. Okay, so when you divide p of x by g of x, you will get something in the quotient and you will get a remainder. Even though it says it's a factor, you will get some equation in the remainder because of k, right? So what do after that is you equate the remainder to 0 because it's a factor. You need help in the division. Okay. So this I am going to give you as homework. Anybody stuck in the division, try solving it slowly. Okay, Pratim, try doing it. It's easy. All you have to do is you have to consider k as also a term here. That's all. So there will be k in the quotient, there will be k in the remainder, and there will be k somewhere in between. So you'll keep getting an annoying k everywhere. Just be careful of that. But then try once. It's a little tricky, but it's easy to do. Just try. Yes, Murtuza, that is the answer. Pratim, you will have to try it once. Okay, so I think it will take some time. So what I would suggest is take this sum as homework. I'll just give one sum today, this and the previous one. Okay. Yes, k is coming in every term. So you will get k in the remainder also. I'll just tell you the steps. Okay, first when you divide it, you will get something, you'll get a big remainder in terms of k. Okay, and a quotient in terms of k. Okay, and so what do? You equate the remainder to 0. From that, when you equate it to 0, you will get the value of k. Okay, once you get the value of k, substitute it in g of x. So you'll get a polynomial, right? You'll get a quadratic polynomial when you substitute the value of k in g of x. And then, yes, I'll repeat. So first, what do? You divide p of x by g of x. You will get a quotient and you will get a remainder. Both of the terms will have k in it. And since it says in the question that k is a factor of p of x, you equate the remainder to 0. How can you remove k from g of x, Pratim? Vanshika, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Take your time with the division, don't hurry up. You are going to get k in most of the terms, so you should know. There are places you need to add k, there are places you need to subtract k, right? Rishit, yes, it's kind of looking okay. Your quotient and remainder looks pretty much okay. Okay, so now take the x term common. Ayush, I don't think that's right, your remainder. Just check. Pratim, you'll have to try once. You try the previous question's division first, then you try dividing with this. Unless until you do it yourself, you will not get it. Even if I do it right now, it will seem easy, but then you have to do it, right? Try solving it. Come on. Okay, so like I said, you will get a remainder equated to 0. Okay, from that you will get the value of k. Then substitute the value of k in g of x, and what do? You find the factors using splitting the middle term for g of x. Automatically those two zeros will be the zero of this polynomial, because g of x is a factor of, right, p of x. So automatically these zeros will also be a zero of this polynomial. So you need to find only two more zeros. Smera, I think just check your division once. I don't think it's quite right. Nope. Okay, so this question I want you to solve it as homework. I have told you how to solve it, just the division part. Be very careful with the division part, okay? And try doing it. You just have to divide, and I want to give you one more sum as homework. So just note it down. Yeah, this one. It's based on the same concept. This is the homework. This is not the sum. It is the exact same question. Okay, but in this case, it says that the remainder comes out to be x plus a. So instead of equating the remainder to 0, you equate it to x plus a. It's the exact same question like k. Yes, the annoying k is going to come in this question too. So copy this question. I want this question and the previous question to be submitted as homework. That's all. I'm just giving you two questions. And it's easy. You will get how to solve it. If you want, I'll repeat how to solve it once more. But I want you to do the division yourself. Everybody noting this down? Yes, I'll be sending the PPT right away. Yeah, I'll just show you. Have you noted this question down? I'll go back to the other one once you've noted this down. How are you supposed to send the homework? Okay, Simra, I have sent a link on the group for notes and homework. You can take pictures from Cam Scanner, upload it and send it. Upload it on the form and send. Okay, so people, I think you have noted this question down. This is your homework. Okay, please solve this question. I'm going back to the previous one. Once again, for anybody who missed how to do this question, divide it. This is g of x. Okay, this is p of x. Divide this, perform long division. You will get a quotient in terms of k. You will get a remainder in terms of k. And since the question says k, so that g of x, this term is a factor of p of x, which means the remainder is 0. So whatever big equation you get in the remainder, it can be equated to 0. Okay, from that you will get the value of k. From that you get the value of k, so you substitute the value of k in this g of x and then find the zeros using by splitting the middle term. Hey, I don't think that's the right answer. You get a number as k. It's a simple number. Okay, so this question, I want you to solve it. In case you still have any doubts in the steps, let me know. But it's simple. It's just the division which is tricky. So please perform the division so that you get confident with the sums. Do the division. Okay? I hope you've copied this question. I'll just show you the other question in case you've not copied it. Yeah. So this is the question. Uh, no, you're done. So people who have finished copying both the homework questions can leave. Solve it and send it to me by tonight. I want the answers by tonight. Okay? I'll be checking it. Don't forget, these two questions are your homework. I want it to be submitted by the end of the day and I'll be checking it. Okay? So everybody do the division and submit it. Hey, I'll be sending the PPT. You'll get the questions. What I'll do is I'll just share this PPT right away so you all will get the questions. So don't worry. If you've not copied it, I'll just share it. Okay, bye bye. I'll be sharing the PPT and do the two questions as homework. Bye bye.